Hey, Transformers, we're joined by a special guest. Stacy has been absolutely crushing her weight loss goals to the point where she's like, hey, how do I gain weight now? I'm losing too much. So Stacy's here to share with us her journey from beginning all the way to the end, the challenges, the things that's going well, the results, and hopefully inspire some of you guys to take some more action. So before we jump into all the questions I'll ask you, take a couple seconds and just quickly introduce yourself, Stacy.
I'm 47 years old and I have two kids, busy life, work lots. And, it's definitely been a process of learning to put myself first, and taking the time to um, make it so I'm able to do the things that I need to do for myself instead of always kind of shoving it off to the back burner. Um, uh, is probably the biggest thing that I've learned to do for myself, which is good. And it's helped me achieve where I am today. Um, but yeah, it's amazing how life can get um, busy and hectic with two kids and working full time, and you've got all these balls in the air and you're trying to like juggle them all and not drop any of them, and none of the balls seem to be like balls for like working out or eating healthy and doing the things that you should be probably trying to balance in your life and to juggle. But it's hard. It's hard, and it's definitely finding that rhythm and pattern that definitely you guys helped me with, in trying to strategize around implementing simple transitions that allow for those balls to be part of my juggling act now.
Yeah,
So
amazing. I don't know how you juggle so many balls, but I have two kids as well. We got a 2-year-old and then we got one on the way, so I'll know what
yeah,
it's like pretty soon.
yeah.
But we're really proud of you throughout the whole journey. And before joining a program, if you even remember where you were, share with us, like before our program, like what were some of those challenges with fitness and nutrition, and where were you at before joining us?
So before I joined, I was 50 pounds heavier. Um, and uh, not only was the weight something that, you know, obviously it held me back for sure. When I started working out, it came to the realization that my balance and coordination, strength, endurance, all of those things had been compromised due to the lack of activity that I had been doing. Um, and the weight was dragging me down, and I started to see the progression of like, as I lost 10 pounds, I was like, oh, this is getting a little bit easier. And then as I lost 15 pounds and 20 pounds, um, the balance and the coordination and the endurance and on the strength started coming, but not as quickly as I thought it would return. So I think that fueled my fire a little bit more, that I was a little bit disappointed in myself that I allowed myself to get to that point. Um, and I think self-image of like the reflection that you see in the mirror of like how you see yourself. Um, I always knew, and I would say, I would hear that voice in my head, and it's like, oh, you need to lose weight. Like you're getting, like clothes aren't fitting very nice. And I hated clothes shopping, and nothing I felt looked good on me. And it was just like a constant struggle of that inside voice that was constantly in my head that was like, you need to do this, right? But I wasn't really doing anything about it. And it was just a negative, probably very, very negative outlook that I had on my own self. And I knew that that wasn't good. And I just didn't want to continue down that path anymore. And that I needed help to like figure out how to get onto the path that I wanted to be on. And so being on the program, uh, it showed me that, you know, there's strategies and ways to implement uh, but making better choices. And it's not the I can't. It's the, you know, I can't have this. It's, well, what is a healthier option to that? You know, and simple things of like that I never even thought of like not having carbs after a certain time, and looking at food now more as fuel for my body instead of like, and understanding how the fuel that I put into my body, how it works, and why some fuel is better than other fuel, and how it affects me in the long run of it. And so now I'm learning the juggling of like what you said earlier, you know, not losing weight and maintaining my weight and the fuel that I need to put in and when. And so it's just strategizing that way and just making better choices, and having the support, um, and the guidance has been huge for sure. For sure.
Amazing. Coach Jackie and myself, we always say everything comes down to a choice. And the last thing we want to do is fatigue those choices and risk making the wrong choice. But when we can have systems and processes in place where these choices become automatic, like what am I going to eat today? What am I going to eat next week? Breakfast, lunch, dinner, when am I gonna go to the gym, or when I'm gonna exercise? If these choices become automatic, it makes things easier and easier. And so it kind of, you spoke to that. And so after you've been through our program now 4 months in, what were some of those progressions like? Like what were those improvements like from month one to month two? Or sorry, when you started a month one to month two, two to three, three to four, and now that you're kind of graduating our weight loss program, what were some of those things you've learned like month to month, and how has that helped you?
I think that probably the biggest thing that I learned month to month was probably, um, yes, the weight loss was a goal. Um, but I think more of it was the process of like learning to like continue to being able to like make those good choices and not have them feel like it was a chore. Like it was not like, well, I have to do this or I can't do this. And so my mindset evolved from, um, you know, when I very first started was like, well, I can't have carbs. And then I was like, well, wait a second. It's not that I can't. It's just I need to time it better. And so the outlook, um, gradually shifted and changed to, you know, weight loss to lifestyle change. Like it was about the weight loss partially, and it was about getting healthy, and it was about, um, you know, that number on the scale for, you know, part of the journey. But I think probably the biggest part is learning that, um, this isn't just short term. Like it's not you just do this and then you're done after 4 months and then you just go back to the way you were before, right? Like this is, I look back now and I look at how I used to eat, and it's astonishing, right? Like I would go all day with no, like I'd have coffee in the morning and then go all day and then eat a huge dinner and then I'd snack at night. I don't do that anymore. Like I actually have breakfast now, and I probably eat more food now than I did back then. It's just different food. And
Mhm,
so
mhm.
it's just, and I feel better. Like I feel like I have more energy. I'm not as cranky. Like I don't get hangry. Like, um, yeah, it's different now. Like it's like the fuel that I put in my body now, I eat like 3 or 4 times a day now instead of once a day, or once a day and three little snacks before bed, right? And I definitely feel a difference in my body. It definitely likes it a lot better.
That's
And
incredible.
yeah.
That's incredible. It sounds like you've really gone 360. You've really integrated everything into a lifestyle. And it's funny how before you ate more food sorry, before you ate less food, and now you're eating
Hmm.
more food, and
Hmm.
hitting your fitness goals. But just like a small tweak of when you eat and the type of food that you're eating makes such a big difference.
Oh,
That's huge.
absolutely.
And
Yeah.
I like how you're saying now I can't even look back on the food choices I made before, because that was just not me. And then now, it's ingrained in who you are, right? You've lost the weight now, you've maintained your weight, now you're integrating it into a lifestyle. And when that happens, just like brushing your teeth, it's something that you're going to continue to do every day for the rest of your life. And you're never gonna have to worry about gaining that extra weight back, because it's a lifestyle and it's a choice that is just automatic now. So very, very proud of you, Stacy. Share with us, we're 4 months in. What are the results?
The results are I started off at 164 and I weigh now 113.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. If you do the math, that is 51 pounds. Nice work. That's
Yeah.
incredible. Most
So
people during 16 weeks, they lose anywhere from 15 to 30 pounds. You drop 51. So
yeah.
incredible. Really, really good job. You went above and beyond. I remember like we're doing our workouts before our first month, and then you went extra. You're like, you know what? I'm gonna go ice skating. I'm gonna go out for a run. I'm gonna get extra walks in. And so you're really taking everything that we've taught you and ran with it. So we're really, really proud of you, Stacy. A lot of people, they'll miss the workouts or they'll miss a coaching session. You attended every single one, which is phenomenal. So very, very proud of you. For everyone,
Thanks.
listening to this or watching this that, are maybe, skeptical, like, yeah, Stacy can do it, 50 pounds, but I'm not sure if I can do it. But what would you say to them?
You can, and don't let that little voice in your head sway you differently, because it, you know, it's the voice that you hear the most. And that conversation that you have in your head and those negative thoughts that you have, don't let, don't follow it. Just say like, I can do it. Say to that little voice inside your head, you know what? No, I can, and I will. And it's what I had to do, because that little voice in my head was just so loud and so awful that and so negative that you know it drags you down, and you need to push that voice aside and say, you know what, I and believe in yourself. And it's hard at the beginning, I'm not going to lie. And that's what you guys are there for. And I wouldn't have, what I know is that I went to the first workout and the next day I got up and I was like, wow, how am I possibly going to do this again? But I knew that I needed to show up. And it was that accountability piece that held me to there. And I didn't want to miss a workout, and I didn't want to have that little checkbox not marked on my trainer app. And so I just showed up, and like it was the hardest thing I did. I knew that if it was myself just going to the gym by myself, I would have been like, no, I'm not going to go, because there's nobody there waiting for me.
Mhm.
And so but I signed into the Zoom thing the next day, and then the next day after that, and then it just felt, everything just fell into place. And it from the coaching sessions on Saturday mornings are probably one of the most important things about this program, um, that teaches about motivation, accountability, choices, um, all of the things, nutrition, that gets spoken about, and you hear other people's stories. And um, was probably another thing that helped me in my journey, hearing Gord's story and Johnny's story, and all those guys that had made it through to and were making a difference. And I am competitive. And so I was like, I can do this. Like, if those guys can do it too, like I can do this. And I had the support of my husband, which made a big, huge, I think, impact as well for me, and allowing um, me to be as successful as I was, with, him kind of jumping on board with healthier eating and all of that, which made a huge difference as well. Um, but take that step. That's all I can say, is just take the leap and believe in yourself, and it'll be okay. And whether you want to lose 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 50 pounds, whatever, it's a journey that is worth taking, because the way you feel in the end is something undescribable.
Amazing, amazing. I never lost 50 pounds, but I can feel it from your voice that it's like, you
Yeah.
really believe in it, and you absolutely transformed your life, and you didn't give up, right? Like you kept going, you kept going, you kept going, you kept pushing it. You had the accountability, you had the support. So for everyone watching, same thing I will leave you with if you saw Stacy's previous video, is we have a ebook. There's some workouts, some recipes in here. Take advantage of this. If you also want to try out our program, we have a 7-day trial. You can comment below PT and I'll set you up with it. And then Stacy, really, really proud of you.
Thanks.
5-0, huge milestone. And I can't wait to see you maintain this for a very long time. So
Yeah,
congrats
me
again.
too. Yeah. So now it's on to the strength training and muscle building. So yeah,
Absolutely.
good. Awesome.